Hi everyone, I hope that you are doing well. Today I am going to discuss a very important controversial article, that is Government of National Capital Territory Amendment Bill 2021. So in this particular video, the detailed analysis, or you can say the complete information with regard to Delhi, its powers, what were the various acts through which Delhi was given some powers to administer, okay, through the Constituent Assembly, through the Legislative Assembly, and what is the controversy between the central government and the Delhi government, okay, over a period of time. All that very minute aspects are also being discussed under this particular lecture. Okay, so let us go ahead. So, you know about me. Fine. So, this is again very important to the students how they can read the newspaper, how they can, what I say is, analyze the articles. See, the ultimate point for a student to read an article is to make a full-fledged mains answer, right or wrong? Full-fledged mains answer. So that is why we study articles to know the perspective, okay, of a particular author with regard to that particular bill, okay, and through that article, if it comes in the examination, how we are going to present it. So I have numbered the paragraphs in this way: paragraph 1, paragraph 2, paragraph 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, like that I have mentioned. The basis, the main idea to mention the numbers, the paragraph numbers, so that all the students who are watching me should be equipped with how sir is analyzing a particular paragraph. How I am doing is you have to do in the same way. How I am extracting the information, in the same way you have to extract the information and try to make a full-fledged answer from an article. This is the ultimate aim of a students when they study the article. So I have written here how these paragraphs will be useful. The number denotes the paragraphs, It helps the students over a period of time to analyze the paragraph the way I am doing. Nothing but in this analysis, I am trying to extract the information in through which I can properly arrange my mains answer and through which I can extract the information. This way of doing or reading and note making of the articles will help students to systematically arrange the data to make the editorial a full-fledged mains answer. This is the ultimate goal. Let us go ahead. So see here, I have mentioned what are the aspects discussed in the editorial. So the historical evolution of Delhi means the status of Delhi. Once upon a time it was a state, then it became a UT plus LA, then again it becomes a UT, then again now it is UT plus LA. There is a problem with the powers distribution with respect to government of Delhi and also the center. So some basic over a period of time how the status of Delhi has been changed. Okay, so this particular information is mentioned in paragraph 2 and 4. Mentioned in what? Paragraph 2 and 4. Historical evolution of Delhi. Then, what are the controversies between CM and Chief Commissioner? This is mentioned in the paragraph 4 again. Okay. Then committee appointed whether the Delhi should be given a statehood or it should remain as a UT plus LA or it should be have the status of only UT. What are the committee recommendations? So all these were mentioned under paragraph 5. Why Delhi could not be given as a full-fledged statehood status discussed in paragraph 3. Some concepts of polity are also mentioned here in the form of what is the role of governor and parliament in a parliamentary democracy? What do you mean by limited representative government? What do you mean by modus vivendi? This is DI here. And what is the meaning of federal structure? Okay, some concepts. Okay, then if there is a controversy is there, then there is bound to be interpreted by the Supreme Court or not? Yes, because as you might have got some knowledge of poverty in your coaching classes. The original jurisdiction with regard to resolve the federal dispute means between union and state, between states and state, between two or more states and union, whatever the arrangement you can take up. Okay, The conflict, if any, arises among any of the federal units, okay, especially the state and the center. The originally it is the Supreme Court which is going to hear this particular conflict. Okay, so original jurisdiction respects conflict. So when there is a controversy is there here, then Supreme Court will definitely would have given some judgments with regard to whether the whether it is a pro Delhi government judgment or whether it is a central government pro judgment. So we have to see the Supreme Court has supported which one of the following units of federation, which one of the following unit of federation, right? So these Supreme Court judgments are mentioned under paragraph 9. Paragraph 9. And at the end one, what is there in the new bill? National Capital Territory of Delhi. Means the silent features of the bill are mentioned in paragraph 8 and 9. Okay, see how properly I have arranged the paragraph and my way of writing a mains answer. This is how you have to do in your day to day whenever you are reading the newspaper. Okay. So why first I have discussed why Delhi should not be given a full-fledged statehood status. This is mentioned in paragraph 3. See guys, Delhi belongs to the nation. So it will be very unwise to either give it a full-fledged statehood status or merge with any of the neighboring state. Suppose if a Delhi is given a full-fledged statehood status, then what will happen? Automatically the state acquire predominant position with respect to its counterparts or not, with respect to other states or not. Delhi, okay, the capital of the country, there only FDI will come more. There only big industries will be established. Okay, there only GDP, that particular state will have the highest GDP like that. Okay, and what will generally happen again here? Okay, the many of the international events are also getting will be held in what Delhi will be held in what Delhi, and that's why the state becomes and parliament is there only. Rajbhavan is there only, president sits there only. So that particular state will be given, okay, will be having a very upper hand position with respect to other counterparts. Okay, not only that, not only that, it is many vital institutions of central jurisdiction, central government jurisdiction such as Parliament, Raj Bhavan, PMO office, embassies, all these are located in what? Delhi. All these are located in what? Delhi. So to administer many of the institutions, to administer its own officers, Delhi, then the central government will make laws or not. If these laws comes into conflict of the state laws, then again the governance will be hampered. The governance will take a setback. The people's purpose will be defeated. Right or wrong? Okay, these matters are actually under the jurisdiction of central government. Okay. Now what happens here is, if suppose there is a, like before the 2014, central government, Congress was there, Delhi Congress government was there. So there was no problem with regard to administration of Delhi here. So there was no conflict, no issues because both the parties are same. What if the Delhi now, this, whatever the situation we are having here, Delhi is now administered by Aam Aadmi Party headed by Arvind Kejriwal and BJP government is there at the center. So when two different political parties are there, okay, and a area is nothing but the area here is Delhi is being administered by two different political parties, then conflicts are bound to happen or not? Yes, conflicts are bound to happen. Okay, so in case if it is given statehood or merged with neighboring state with a rigid division of power, okay, the rigid division of power, just like Delhi list of items are mentioned in the act, central government should take care of these aspects. But what happened when this rigid division, whatever we have made, one encroaches others indirectly or one encroaches in other list directly, whatever happens here, okay, so there will be a conflict between state government and central government, right or wrong? Yes. Okay. So it will become more worse if the political parties are different, okay, in center and also in Delhi. In center and also in Delhi. If any of these, okay, rigid division, whatever we are doing, okay, with regard to Delhi government functioning and central government subjects are what? Delhi government subjects are items to be discussed, items to have jurisdiction, central government jurisdictions, items. If we have this kind of, if at all we make a law by separating powers between Delhi and the central government, if what happens, one encroaches some powers of this list, central government encroaches some powers of this list, Delhi list, what generally will happen? They will go to court. They will go to court. So that will become a constitutional deadlock. Okay, constitutional deadlock, federal structure dispute, and Supreme Court will come into picture, and the interpretation will take time, the judgment will take time. Meanwhile, what happened? The public interest will be lost. Okay, governance will be taken a backseat. Governance will be taken a, not governor. Governance I'm talking about means serving the people will take a backseat because neither of them are ready to resolve the issue. Okay, and both are in conflict. You are not bending, your friend is not bending, then you need a mediator, right? If both of you make a arrangement and try to solve it, that is all okay, right? But now neither Delhi government is what resolving it by sitting with central government, not central government resolving by sitting with the state government. So both of them are going to what? Supreme Court. So in that case, the governance of Delhi and the people, public interest, public works, public development, all that will be taken a backseat or not? Yes. Okay. Because of these, to avoid all of these situation, Delhi was put under Part C. Part C, I will come to that. What is Part C? Just remember this point. Part C. Okay. So these are the reasons given in the article. Okay. So Delhi belongs to the nation, so we cannot give it as a full-fledged statehood status. Okay, or cannot merge with UP, Haryana, like that. You cannot merge with neighboring state also. Why? Because if we do, the state automatically enjoys predominant position with respect to other states. Second one, many vital institutions, Parliament, Rajbhavan, PMO office, and many embassies and many aspects of central jurisdictions will also fall part in what? Will also be a part of what? Delhi. Will also be a part of Delhi, and Delhi, that particular things are again part of what? Central government. Then conflicts are bound to happen, and conflicts become what? More worse if the ruling parties are different in Delhi and also in central, just now as we have today, leading to constitutional deadlock. Governance will get hampered. Okay, that is why Delhi historically never was given a statehood status. Okay, that is our topic now. Delhi historically was never given a statehood status. It was put under Part C. Okay. Now you see here facts. Paragraph 2 and 4 talks about some facts about the Delhi. At the time of commencement of constitution, all the states are grouped under 4 categories. Part A, Part B, Part C, Part D. Part C and D are administered by Chief Commissioner and LG, Lieutenant Governor. Part B and C used to have the elected CM. Elected CM will be there. A legislative assembly and council will be there. They will be running the Part A and Part B states. Part C and Part D, whatever the states mentioned here, they are administered by Chief Commissioner and LG. They are centrally appointed. They are not elected by the people of this Part C and Part D states. They are centrally appointed. It means the people, the people, the Chief Commissioner and NG who are administering the states under Part C and Part D, they are non-elected representatives. Means people did not vote for them as because they are centrally appointed. They are centrally appointed. Okay. So Delhi was put under Part C. Delhi was put under Part C. Okay. That's why I have mentioned here Delhi was put under what? Part C. Fine. So Delhi has a population at that time was 14 lakh people. In 1951, okay, for Delhi, a legislative assembly was created. So for the very first time at the time of commencement, it was just a state under what? Part C. State under what? Part C. So a legislative assembly was given to Delhi, Delhi plus UT. Okay, was created. And when legislative assembly is there, then head of the majority party will be there here, and the CM will also be there here, right? The first elected CM of Delhi was Chaudhary Brahm Prakash. Okay. Now controversy started. Chaudhary Prakash, the CM of Delhi at that time, he used to have a prolonged issue with Chief Commissioner and Home Minister. Means at that time, Lieutenant Governor was called as Chief Commissioner. He has a continuous issue with regard to various issues of jurisdictions and functional autonomy. ये हमारा है, ये तुम नहीं कर सकते, ये एस्पेक्ट हमारा है, ये एस्पेक्ट तुम्हारा नहीं है, हम इसमें ला बना सकते हैं, आप इसमें ला नहीं बना सकते, यू आर encroaching our powers, we are not, okay, we are not encroaching your powers, so if you do this, how can we run the government, you continuously interfere in our issue, like that. The CM of Delhi used to have a lot of conflicting issue with the Chief Commissioner and Home Minister, who are central government, okay, people. Then the issues were so severe that Chaudhry Brahma Prakash, he has got what I say is bored of this kind of conflict, and ultimately he gave his resignation. Then the moment resignation was given, the Parliament has responded. Parliament has amended the constitution, okay, and according to State Reorganization Act of 1956, okay, how to organize the states, because you know that there are four parts, what there, part A, part B, part C. So reorganize means again systematically make all the states, okay, systematically arrange all the states, okay, reorganize according to the what language basis, according to the what I say is area basis, according to the demand of people to have a separate state, like that. So many other reasons are there. So स्टेट रीऑर्गेनाइज करना है और एक बार से स्टेट्स को तोड़ना है या जोड़ना है, कुछ ना कुछ करना है. So this act was passed, and now instead of this, with this act, instead of four categories, only in India now we are having two categories of state. One are normal states of us, just like Telangana, Uttarakhand, UP, like that. Okay, and other group is union territories, and union territories is plus legislature. Okay, only two groups are there. Now we don't have part A, B, C, D, only two group of states. One is normal state, another one is union territories, and union territories plus legislature. Union territory means Andaman, Daman and Diu, Chandigarh, like that. Union territory plus legislature means now we are having Jammu and Kashmir, Delhi, Puducherry. All of them are in second category. Okay, so with this act, now we are having only two categories of state, one is state and UT. Not only this new provision were added, another important change they have done through this act. What is the change? Okay, Delhi statehood was abolished. Means CM resigned? No, because of conflicting issue. Delhi statehood was abolished. Okay. Delhi statehood and council was abolished. And Delhi now purely through this abolition became a total UT, a Pakka UT. And when UT is there, you know that president will administer through a administrator. When the already a assembly was there, people were voting and people were electing the representatives, they will be very happy or not, because their own people are there in the assembly, they will work for them, so that feeling will be there or not. But all of a sudden you destroy the assembly, you remove the assembly, and a person who is not having any of the knowledge of Delhi and the emotions and sentiments and requirements of the Delhi, if he is appointed, how they will govern us? Okay, how they will govern the Delhi people? The Delhi people started what protesting. The political leaders of the Delhi also started what protesting. Okay, then the protest was continued after 10 years. Delhi Administration Act was passed. Okay, in 1966. With this act, Delhi was given a metropolitan council. Okay, of 56 elected members, 5 nominated members, and limited representative government was given. Limited means not all the sections were represented, were a part of the LA. Okay, and less powers were given. Limited powers were given. That's why it is called as limited representative government. Means just like panchayats and municipalities को हम थोड़े powers देते ना, in the same way full fledged powers नहीं दिए, थोड़े powers दिए. Okay, this structure of administration continued for many years. Okay, meanwhile there was again lot of demand with regard to grant it as a full-fledged statehood status. Okay, just a second. full-fledged statehood status. So now the people are continually demanding that Delhi should be given a full-fledged statehood status. Then see, democracy means what? Democracy means the government should serve the interest of people or not, right? Interest of people. Now the interest of people is what? They are continuously protesting for a statehood. So the government has to serve that interest or not? Yes. So government, in order to give or take the cognizance of their interest, Government of India appointed a committee. So that what kind of committee? The committee, should we give Delhi a statehood status or not? This is what they have to analyze. Is it feasible to give Delhi a statehood status or not? This is what the committee has to analyze. So in 1987, this committee was appointed, called as Balakrishnan Committee. What is his recommendation? First of all, he rejected the idea of statehood status to Delhi. He said that Delhi should be continuing as a union territory, just like whatever it was there before. And this committee said that why to have a metropolitan small council, limited representative government, let us give them a council and an assembly, elaborate just like other states how they have, and give them appropriate powers, enlarge their powers. Okay, to make this happen, bring in constitutional enactments. Means constitution should be amended, a article should be inserted in the name of Delhi. Properly you distribute, just like Jammu and Kashmir 370 article is there, no, which is having all the powers, okay, and everything written, no. In the same way, the constitution enactments you should bring in that Delhi should be given what? Elaborate powers, just like other states are having. Okay, so government responded. Okay, government has enacted 69th Constitutional Amendment Act, and government passed Government of National Capital Territory Act of 1991 passed. Okay, in this act, the powers, whatever the powers given to Delhi, no, they are similar to what they had in 1951 when the elected CM Chaudhry Brahm Prakash was there. Okay, when he was there, whatever the powers were there at that time, no, the same thing they have restored. Nothing new, no elaborate powers. Okay, till now, this is the situation of the Delhi. Okay, now again controversy started because you know that Chaudhry Brahma Prakash with the same list of powers, same list of jurisdiction has a problem with the Chief Commissioner and the Home Minister at that time 1951, right or wrong, and led to his resignation. Again the same jurisdictions are given in this 1991 Act also. Again the clauses, conflict bound to happen. So many times this particular Delhi was ruled by different political parties. Like from 2014 to 2019 general elections also, Delhi is administered by AAP and the central government is there with the BJP. Okay, different political parties. Again, the situation will be more words I have told you. Conflicting interest has been a part of its administration. Okay, Delhi's administration has always been what? Controversy and conflicting issues with what? Between the Delhi government and the central government. Many times they are not sitting on a table and trying to resolve the issues. Okay, many times they could not resolve the issues, so they are not able to carry forward, resolve and find a solution to the issues, and they are not ready for what? Peaceful coexistence. They are not ready for peaceful coexistence. ये भी bend नहीं हो रहे, ये भी bend नहीं हो रहे. Both are not bending. Central government and state government are adamant on their own issues. So that's why they are not happy. They are not interested to what peacefully coexist. Okay. So in this case, what happened when a arrangement of governance like central government, state government, panchayat, municipalities, okay, with the state government, when a particular arrangement of polity, when a particular arrangement of administration does not come together and solve the issues peacefully, then we call it as no modus vivendi. Actually, what is the meaning of modus vivendi? Modus vivendi means when a two units of administration come together and solve the issue and exist peacefully, then only it is called as modus vivendi. But here in Delhi case, what is happening? Are they coming together to solve this issues peacefully? No. That's why there is no modus vivendi. So example I have given you. Okay, like Arvind Kejriwal and his ministers are having dharna at LG office. You might have heard in this was in the year 2018. They did all of this. Okay, so Arvind Kejriwal went to LG and asked LG that the IAS officer are on strike. Okay, at that time IAS officer were on to strike. So Arvind Kejriwal went to LG and said that issue a GO asking the IAS officers to call up their strike, and if they don't report to the duties on 2 to 3, if they don't, okay, if they don't attend the, if they don't come to the office from the strike, then we will initiate what proceedings like that. He wrote in the letter and gave to LG. LG did not sign it. So LG is not signing. You know that LG is appointed by president. President has to act on the aid and advice of what? PM and Council of Ministers, right? It means PM and Council of Ministers are the administrating the LG or not? Yes. So conflict arises. Then Arvind Kejriwal told, if they are not coming to the power, if they are not coming to their offices, if they are not coming to the not coming to their chairs of MDs, CEOs like that, if the bureaucrats are not there, how I have to implement my policies, what I have promised in the elections, right? Because they are the people who are going to implement things. If they are only calling off this strike, so how I can implement my money manifesto which I have given in 2019? So LG is not signing on that, and they are continuously asking that if they are not there, how we should work, how we should work. So conflict is there. That's why no modus vivendi, and they did not come together to solve the issue. Okay. Then all these were happening. Whether Supreme Court has given any judgment? Yes. A bench in Supreme Court in 2018 gave a judgment. The judgment read, and it was a pro-Delhi judgment, means it was towards favoring what? Delhi government. The judgment says that Parliament, okay, envisaged a democratic form of government of NCT. The act which was passed by the Parliament, that is Government of National Capital Territory Act of 1991, the act which was passed, okay, it envisages democratic form of government, means people's elected government should be there. Okay, fine. If it is a people's elected government and assembly is there, it should have legislative powers or not? Yes. Enshrined in state list and concurrent list, like I am in Telangana, you are in Uttarakhand, you are having state, you are having your assembly, I am having my assembly. So all the assembly powers are derived from state list of constitution, right or wrong? And you can, a state can also make laws on concurrent list or not? Yes. These are the powers given by what? Constitution to the states or not? Yes. Though, but they cannot encroach the items in the central list. So Supreme Court says it is also assembly. It should also similar to be the states. It should also be given powers to legislate in state list and concurrent list. Okay. And as because you know that in Telangana, in my state, in Telangana, the governor will act on the aid and advice of CM and Council of Minister, right or wrong? In the same way, Delhi LG should also act according to the aid and advice of elected assembly or not? Yes. Okay, just like other states, how the governors are discharging their function according to the aid and advice of CM and Council of Minister, LG should also do the same. Like that, Supreme Court was very much favored to the Delhi government under its judgment. Okay, and our constitution envisages federal structure, means our constitution says that there should be a polity which is based on what? Federation, means state government should be there, central government should be there. Both of them should have their own powers of jurisdiction. Both of them has their own powers of legislation and executive functions, right or wrong? Okay, one cannot encroach upon other, otherwise Supreme Court will give the judgment accordingly, right? Okay, so when Constitution gives us a principle of federal character was given to our polity by the Constitution, so you cannot ask a assembly to not have any powers, right? When you have created an assembly, it should be treated, okay, with appropriate legislative powers or not? Yes. So that's why the Supreme Court says that federal structure is the essence of the Constitution. It means Delhi government should be given legislative powers. Okay. Then Supreme Parliament did not like it. The government did not like it. To curtail the, here what is there? To curtail the powers of judicial interpretation and also the legislative assembly jurisdiction, which is mentioned in paragraph 8 and 9. See, whatever the silent features of this bill are there, they are nothing but curtailing the powers of judicial interpretation and legislative assembly or not. Means when we are curtailing, these features are only curtailing them. So whether you read in this way, these are the provisions that will curtail the powers of judicial interpretations and legislative assembly, then also it is right. Or you can directly say that these are the 7 features of the bill. Either way, you can say this is a very important trick in the examination. When you write the examination, this will be very much helpful. Sometimes features itself will be what? Demerits. Sometimes features itself will be what? Merits. Okay. Here, curtailing the powers. Okay, these are the provisions through which powers are curtailed, and nothing but these are the features of the bill only. Features of the bill itself are curtailing the powers, like that. So Supreme Court judgment, government did not like it, and government initiated what recently, 20th March 2021, I guess, Government of National Capital Territory of Delhi Amendment Bill 2021 was passed. With this bill, the elected Delhi government was reduced to a mere vestigial organ. Vestigial organs are those organs which are having no powers. No powers. Okay, just like it is a word which is used in biology. Okay, vestigial organs are those organs which are not having any physiological importance, any physical importance in our body, just like our nails. Okay, what nails do, nobody knows. Whether they involve in digestion, no. Excretion, no. Respiration, no. Protection from organism, no. So we are not aware of any of these things. So nails are what? One of the vestigial organs in our body. Okay, like that we are having 3-4 organs like ear pinna also. This pinna, we call this pinna. This is also, we don't know why it is there. It does not involve in any of the physiological functions. This whole is enough for us. Okay, so vestigial organ. So vestigial organs are those organs which are not having any functions. Okay, in the same way, with this bill, the government of Delhi, okay, the elected government of Delhi was reduced to a position of vestigial organ. Means the bill took all the powers of the elected Delhi government. Okay, the bill clarified the expression of government. The bill says that Delhi Assembly or Delhi administration is not just like a normal state. First of all, you get this into point. The government told that Delhi government does not mean a government of other states. Delhi government should be read along with what? Union territory. It's a union territory plus legislative assembly. Okay, union territory plus legislative assembly. So it is having this feature also, this feature also. You cannot just say that, okay, we are having a legislature, we'll do whatever we want to do, just like other states that they can do in state and conferences. No, my dear, Delhi, you are having the status of what? UT also. You are having the status of what? UT also. That's why your government is not the government just like other states. You are having UT also with you. Like that the bill clarified. The bill reduces the elected government to mere vestigial organs, elevated the position of LG to so much so that it was akin to the viceroy of British government, British rule. Okay, and one of the very controversial provision is no decision of the assembly could be implemented without the opinion of LG, even executive orders. Even what? Executive orders. Now you see, means for everything legislative assembly, if anything they passes, if any order they give, if any rule they make, whatever they do, it has to be, they have to take the opinion of what? LG. How bad the provision is, you can see into that. That's why it becomes very controversial. It means what? Simply the elected legislative assembly of the Delhi can do nothing. That's why we are saying that it was reduced to mere a vestigial organ. Mere a vestigial organ. Okay. So this is my perspective. It is not there in any of the articles and all. It's my perspective. So you can go through it. So I have given the heading in this way: moral wrong. Okay, with this bill, the government has done moral wrong against the constitutional provisions and against larger public interest of Delhi people. Okay, technically it cannot be challenged in the Supreme Court because it is UT also. Okay, but morally, when you are having a legislative assembly, it is the responsibility of the government of India to grant them powers so that they can administer independently. When you are trying to envisage more, when you are trying to strive to give more powers to panchayats and municipalities when you are having such a big union territory? Why don't you give the elaborate powers to legislative assembly? So it is a moral wrong done by the government of India through this bill. Okay, technically cannot be challenged because it is UT also. One more point I have to tell you. One more point I have to tell you. See, in your polity Lakshmikant and DD Basu, whatever the books you are reading of the polity, you have already see that there are two heads to the government, two heads to our India. One is PM and President. So you might be knowing this fact, the President of India is not the real head. He is just a nominal head. The PM is a real head. Why? The reason given in our books is Prime Minister is elected by the government, elected by the people. President is not elected by the people. Okay, he come directly elected by the people. He is indirectly elected by the people. Okay, so the reason went on to say that a Prime Minister who is directly elected by the people should be given more powers, or a president who is indirectly elected by the people should be given more powers. So it is very obvious that the person who is directly elected by the population, by the citizens of the country, should be given more power or not? Yes. Okay. Now you see here. Now you see here. Legislative Assembly, AAP party, Arvind Kejriwal, directly elected, right? LG, centrally appointed officer. Centrally appointed officer. So, whom you will give more powers? Okay, you will give more powers to elected CM or a LG who is a just a nominated or appointed CM, appointed person, right? So when PM and President distinction is properly made by the Constituent Assembly, when the framers of the Constitution, they told that we cannot give direct powers to the President because he is not directly elected. That's why the main powers were given to the Prime Minister. The same converse you have done with the Delhi government. How wrong it is with regard to constitutional ideals, right? It is unwise not to give powers to the elected State Legislative Assembly of Delhi, which was the basis why constitutional framers have given all powers to Prime Minister as he is elected, but not to President. Right? This mistake has been done with our eye open. अपने आंखों के सामने गलती करें. Okay, fine. The people will feel distant from the governance. Very common. The elected representatives can do nothing. They cannot give, and the people cannot go and raise their issues and complaints because they have nothing in their hand. They cannot do anything without the approval of the LG. So why a citizen, why a Delhi people will go and raise their issue to the elected people when they are having no powers? The people will see themselves what? If a road, you want to construct a road, you have to go to that MLA of that particular constituency or not. When you know that the MLA cannot do anything, will you go and raise the issue with him? No. Why? Because the total powers are there with LG only, Lieutenant Governor only. So the people will feel distance from the governance or not? Yes, people don't know what to do. Okay, because as it is administered by the centrally appointed unelected representative like LG. Loss of moral towards the elected representative. Like people will not care will not care the elected representative. They have worked hard, they have worked for the society, but still, as because their powers are reduced to near zero. Okay, what people will have faith in this particular representatives, and what kind of respect and privileges, or you can say what sort of morals that they will have towards these representatives. They will not even care if they are passing in the gully also. They will not care. Why? Because अरे यार ये तो कुछ कर ही नहीं सकता. That so loss of morals to a genuine elected representatives, right or wrong? As people feel that they can do nothing. Then whenever a UT is there, like Andaman, Lakshadweep is there, when they want to elevate their status, they will never demand UT plus Legislative Assembly. Why? Because if they demand in this way, the Parliament can take away all the powers or not with the bill, with the same bill, how they have reduced the Delhi government to totally a defunct government. In the same way, here also same could be repeated. Right? Means the concept of UT plus legislature will get totally compromised and undermined or not. Means that is concept, nobody will now care at all. Nobody. Now all these union territories later on will ask only states. Why? Because when you give us LA also, you will take us that LA also with us through this kind of bill. You will not allow us to even govern it. So we have already seen with what Delhi controversy. Like, so the concept of UT and LA will not be valued, it will not survive, it will be undermined, and no UTs will elevate their status to LA. Okay, UT with legislative setup will be undermined. Okay, as LA can be defunct what anytime. And suppose Delhi elections are being held, why you will go and vote to the why you will take part in the election process when you know that the elected representatives cannot do anything, when you know that elected representatives cannot do anything, cannot, you cannot go to them, you cannot raise your issues with regard to development, with regard to road, with regard to public works, with regard to education, with regard to health. When you know that the elected representatives cannot do anything and LG is the superior one, why you will go to them? You will not. Why you will vote for them? No. So you have totally what you have totally taken a backseat with regard to what, with regard to democracy. Here the concept of democracy also lost its shine. People will never come to vote also. Okay, lower turnaround of voters. Okay, and people will feel that क्या जरूरत है भाई इलेक्शन की जब हमारे लोग ही काम नहीं कर सकते. They are just normal people just like us because they cannot implement ऐसे bills आ गए तो they will become zero functionaries for us. Okay, people will lose faith in what democracy itself, which is the essence of our constitution, which is the essence of our India, right or wrong? So this is a very very bad habit. Okay. Okay, this could be the probable causes if that really goes on. This is my perspective. Thanks a lot for the watching me. Have a nice day and please share as much as you can. Okay, thank you.